Visit abaeservices.com for fast medical transcription service. This podcast episode is brought to you by AB Music Creative.
This episode is brought to you by Dr. Lourdes Capulong.
This is the common expression in the Philippines, especially when you're in love and all that. And you hang out with your friends by the curbside and you're having a cigarette and just really just killing time, and someone's going to sigh and go, I'm so depressed. We've heard that did you hear that to Mike, right? People would go, oh man, I'm so depressed. That's not depression, right?
Right. There's a big difference between clinical depression, excuse me, and feeling sad or having a down day.
But why would they say depressed if it's just a down day?
Because it's just a word that everyone's adopted, it's just like trauma, everything. Oh my God.
It's so traumatic.
My car broke down. It was so traumatic, and it's, and it's not to dismiss distress. People have a lot of distress.
But that's not PTSD.
Well, yeah. I mean, it's putting things in a little bit of perspective when it comes to, your car kind of breaking down. As long as everybody's safe and all of that too. So, but it's more in the news. People talk about depression, and most folks are not a trained mental health professional, so they don't know what the symptoms of clinical depression are, and that it's so different.
What are the symptoms?
Oh, okay. Symptoms can include down mood.
Like, Doc, excuse me. Like, if you were to see me, like if we were going to Starbucks, you and me, and we're having a conversation, you as a professional, without me talking or saying I'm depressed, would you be able to observe me and say, ooh, this Paco guy is kind of depressed?
No. Not really. And not if I didn't know you, not if I didn't see this was a change. You might look a little down, but I don't know if that's clinical depression or you're just having a down day.
Ooh. So close relatives, friends, or spouses, these are the people who can determine if the person they're living with is actually going through depression or having a down day.
They can, but people are very good at hiding things.
So only the person experiencing it can admit to themselves that they are actually...
Well, I mean, it's not to say that there aren't signs that you can pick up on. So if somebody...
So the signs are?
Yeah. So with depression, one is somebody's not engaging in the activities they used to enjoy. They just don't feel like it. They have a hard time motivating themselves to get out of bed. They are... I'm trying to think of the list of the symptoms. They may be sleeping a lot more or a lot less, eating a lot more or a lot less, tired.
Fatigue, no?
Fatigue, yes. So a lot of, and that's not all the symptoms, but these are, it's much more than just feeling down and the common meaning of depressed. It's really a very painful condition to be in, and people can start feeling very hopeless.
The reason why I ask, so when my brother passed away, that was in February 1. Somewhere around late March, early April, everything you said, I felt. Everything. Called up my PCP. I told her what went on, and I think I'm depressed. First thing she did was put me on meds. What meds? Meds that had nothing to do with depression.
Okay.
And I'm like, Doc, I think I'm going through depression. And she's like, you know what? It's easy to say that. But let's run some blood work. Maybe you have low hemoglobin, or maybe your thyroid isn't.
Well, and actually that is good to do, is to rule out any kind of physical reason for your mood. Now, in your case, it's, you had a
death in
a death in the family. But you do want to rule out thyroid. Thyroid can really affect us, our mood, our emotions. Yeah. It's a very powerful hormone in our body. But so that is important to rule out those things. But when they're ruled out or in the same time, because you can have both actually, but you can have some physical reasons, your iron's low and you're depressed.
Oh yeah. Yeah, I remember because I still have the bottle of iron, all that stuff.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. And so it's consulting with a mental health professional, be it a psychologist or a psychiatrist.
Going to a mental health professional, does that affect your job, you in the workplace, like finding a job? Because remember when you said the last part of what you said, no judgment, right? Mm-hmm. But sometimes in the workplace, if that's on your record, it's like, that guy has mental health issues.
But it's your medical, it's part of your medical record, and your medical record is confidential.
Because of HIPAA, right?
Right.
Yeah.
Right. And, psychotherapy and, any mental health treatment, be it with a psychiatrist or a therapist, that's confidential. There's, certain times when we're required to break confidentiality, but unless you have a highly sensitive job, like, for
the government.
Depending on what part of the government, or sometimes with the police department or, things like that. And, it's none of anybody's business.
Right.
So unless you disclose it, they have no way of knowing.
So even calling the mental health hotline is confidential?
Yes. Yes.
Because I remember calling the mental health hotline. My wife goes, "What are you doing?" I'm actually calling the mental health hotline because I think I'm going through depression. And she's like, "You better make sure that's confidential." Okay. I ended up putting the phone down.
Right.
Let me just talk to my pastor. So and people don't know. I mean, we don't know any better. Like, who do we talk to? Sometimes friends will tell other people,
right,
"Hey, Paco's going through depression," and all that stuff. So we don't know.
No, the hotline is a good one.
Okay.
Because they can help to direct you too if you need services. These are trained professionals who, they're just sitting around waiting for you to call.
Okay, Doc. Since we're on that topic, is that the same as suicide prevention hotline?
Yes.
Do we have the number?
Yes, we do.
You like my segue?
As a matter of fact.
Right?
Yes, we do. So the National Suicide Prevention Lifeline is at 800-273-8255. They're available for 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. There's also a crisis text line, because a lot of times people are more comfortable texting, or they're in a situation where they don't, their wife's over there saying, "Why are you calling?" Right? Whereas they're more comfortable texting. So the text line is, you text home to 741-741. And counselors are available, and it's throughout the United States. And there's, other hotlines here, the Veteran Crisis Line and Military Crisis Line, which is the same number as the Suicide Prevention Line, which is, again, 800-273-8255, and you press 1, and that will send a veteran to a counselor who's familiar with veteran issues. And that, again, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. There's also some other hotlines that what I'll do is I'll leave you the information.
Yes, so we can post it.
And you could post it.
Mm-hmm. Speaking of which, right, thank you for doing this, Doc. This one, if you're in the Philippines and you're watching us, Like I have three numbers 24/7 also. It's 893-7603. That's on your landline. Again, that's 893-7603. Or if you want to call on a cell phone, this is 0917 800 1123. Again, 0917 800 1123 or 0922 893 8944. Again, this number is 0922 893 8944.